Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the channel and welcome to something a little bit different. Now I am a big fan of Daily Race C, as you know. Staple of my channel is doing the Daily Race C strategy guides, and very often you'll maybe pick up the impression from me that I'm not too impressed with the settings, either in terms of giving us some strategies for the race, or it's just a sort of regurgitation of something we've had before. So I had a spare couple of hours the other night. I decided to sit down and try my hand at coming up with 10 original combinations for Daily Race C that we've never had before. Now by original I mean since I started playing the game. I've been playing the game for about 2.5 years now, and so that was my kind of what I consider to be original. These may well have appeared way back when GT Sport first appeared on the scene, but as far as I know, none of these combinations have ever been done as a Daily Race C in the last 2.5 years. Now some of them have appeared in other kind of notions, maybe as a Daily Race A or B or in the FIA, but the mandate here was to come up with original Daily Race Cs. Now we've got race settings for them all as well, including tyres and fuel. Obviously we're going to assume that BOP is going to be on for all of them with the exception of one, but you'll see what one that is as we get to it. And I haven't decided on whether they're going to be a rolling start or a grid start. Personally I prefer grid starts, but obviously PD will often not go for the old rolling starts. The only thing that had to be is that I've made them all around what length PD like to do Daily Race C, and that is 20 minutes. So with that all said, let's get on with the first of the 10 races that we're going to look at. And first up is Group 3 at Blue Moon Bay Speedway in Field A. Now, we've never had this has never been a Daily Race C. 18 laps, fuel at ×5, tyre wear at ×3. Tyres are racing, medium and racing hard. No tyres are mandatory, and the pit loss is 7 seconds. Now the settings on this are designed to either give you the option of doing a no stop or going for a pit stop. And the tyres are not mandatory because the kind of no stop would be possible on both sets of tyres, but they'd have obviously better performance in different parts of the race. That's race number 1. Let's move on to race number 2, and it's going to be Group 4, and it's going to be a topless international short version. Now this is a very good version of the track. It kind of misses out that really fiddly second half of the track, very twisty, very technical, and I think that's what put a lot of people off this circuit. So we're in Group 4 machinery, 17 laps to get round. We've just got the racing soft tyres available. Fuel's at ×5, so it's going to present a little bit of an issue. Tyres is at ×4, and pit loss at around about 11 seconds. So the settings for this one means that you can go for the no stop, although it will be very tricky. Quite a big pit loss there. So there's a variation in the strategies in this one. Race number 3, we are going to the south of France, Circuit de Saint-Croix B, and we're in the Group 2 cars. Nice wide circuit for these very powerful machines, very well suited to it as far as I'm concerned. Lap times are about 2 minutes, so 10 laps takes us to that 20 minutes. Fuel ×5, it's going to be an issue in the Group 2 cars, but not too much. Tyre wear at ×7, racing soft and racing mediums available. Racing mediums are mandatory, and a pretty short pit loss at 6 seconds. And I think with those settings there, there's a good scope for different strategies. Maybe even the no stop, one stop and the two stop could all come into play in this one. Race number 4 is where we've actually truly got creative, because we've got some NASCAR. But you're saying there's no NASCAR in the game? Well, we made our own NASCAR. We took the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, gave it a custom bop, gave it the same horsepower and weight as a modern day NASCAR, gave it a sequential transmission, and voila, we have our NASCAR. Laps are at 24, fuels at ×2, tyre wear at ×6, distant racing soft tyres available, pit loss is 7 seconds. This combination actually works really well. The car actually feels like a race car, feels like a big lumbering beast like a last car tends to look at, feels very basic and raw. It's very similar to what NASCARs are like, and there's loads of strategy implementations in there with those settings. Race number 5 is a familiar combination for GT Sport, but not in Daily Race C. We've got Group 3 at Nürburgring GP. This is a very common race in FIA. They like to sort of finish the season off with this combination, and it's always very popular, always works very well. But why it's never been a Daily Race C, I don't know. I think it would bring the player base out at big time. 10 laps to get round, lap times are about 1 minute 55, fuel at ×3 will be no issue, tyre wear at ×6. We've just got the racing soft tyres available. It's a simple one stop versus the no stop for this one, but strategy in there, good combination, popular car choice, all seems good for that one. Race number 6 is a car track combo that always surprises me. It has never been a Daily Race C, and that is the Group 4 cars at Barcelona. Why this has never been a combination, I'm not sure. Group 4 cars are very well suited to this track. Lap times are about 1 minute 52 to 55, I can't quite remember, so 10 laps gets us towards that 20 minute mark. We've got fuel at times 2, tyres at times 8, the racing medium and the racing hard tyres available. We're making both of them mandatory to force everyone into a pit stop, and with the pit loss being 9 seconds and quite substantial, definitely lots of elements of strategy in this one. And moving on to race number 7. We are back in the Group 2 cars, and really, to be perfectly honest with you, when it comes to Group 2 in this game, it's open season. There are so few of the tracks that have been used in Daily Race C with the Group 2 cars. They always go to Fuji, always go to Suzuka or Autopolis. So there's loads of combinations out there with Group 2, but one track that really seems to suit the car is Interlagos in Brazil. Absolutely superb combination. Get the settings right for this one and you have an absolutely fantastic race. We've went for 15 laps, just the racing hard tyres available. Pit loss is really short in the Group 2 cars at Interlagos, so that's why we've just got the one choice of tyre. And those settings really do make it a toss up between the one stop and the no stop. Race number 8, we're into the first of our road cars, if we don't include the Chevrolet Camaro, that is a NASCAR, remember, and it's the Mazda Touring Roadster. We've sort of put the BOP to N300, get 10 laps to get around Sardinia Road Track B, fuel at times 3, tyre at times 4. I've put this car on the racing tyres. I much prefer the racing tyres. I'll put every car on the racing tyres. It's a racing game, we use racing tyres, but we've got the mediums and the hards to use, making both of them mandatory, and with that big massive pit loss of 15 seconds, it's going to make that pit stop vitally crucial as to where you're going to do it. So I think this would be quite an interesting combination. And finally, oh not finally, race number 9, I forgot, we were only 8, is Group 3, and we're going to Sardinia again, this time at Road Track A, one of the best tracks in the game in my opinion. Never been a Daily Race C, I think we've done it in X 2019 at this track, and maybe even Group 4, but never in the Group 3 cars. 11 laps to get round, fuel at times 2, tyre at times 7, both the medium and the hard available, only the hard tyres are mandatory, and a pit loss at 8 seconds. I think those settings would very much invite all 3 of the strategies. I think the no stop, the one stop, and maybe even an outside chance of a 2 stop being possible in that one, although I think conditions would have to be spot on for that to work very well. And race number 10, we went a little bit silly with this one. We are going to Goodwood Motor Circuit. We're in the Group B cars, and they've never ever used the Group B cars in a Daily Race C. Again, they usually tend to try and put you on sport soft tyres in these cars. We're not going to do that, we're putting ourselves onto the racing mediums. 16 laps takes us towards 20 minutes, fuel at times 3, tyre at times 5. Both of them are actually an issue because these tyres are absolute chuggers when it comes through, to go through the tyres and the fuel. We've got a pit loss at 9 seconds, so quite a big pit loss, and obviously no mandatory tyres. But this combination actually works quite nicely. The Group B cars on racing tyres are actually very much like race cars, to be honest with you, so I could see that combination going down quite well. So there you have it folks, 10 original Daily Race C's. I came up with them in the space of a couple of hours. Just sat down, did a few laps of each combination. That was enough for me to work out the tyres and the fuel, get that pit loss down, and I think all of them have the potential to be very interesting races. And more than anything, as I was putting this video together, it's annoyed me even more just about how unoriginal PD are with their Daily Race C combos sometimes. It is certainly not difficult to come up with something original. To be honest with you, with the way this game works, the sky is the limit, because you can take something like we've done with the Chevrolet Camaro to sort of basically give us NASCAR, where there's so many other cars in the game where you could sort of implement that kind of creativity to come up with something a little bit different. I mean, for example, you could take a handful of the Group 3 cars, make them a little bit more powerful, make them a little bit more downforceable, that's definitely not a word, give them a little bit more downforce, and all of a sudden you've got cars that would be very closely in resemblance to GTE cars. So you could do that with maybe 4 or 5 cars, sort of make the car choice limited just to those 4 and 5 cars, and give us a GTE race rather than a Group 3 race or a GT3 race. So yeah, it really does baffle me sometimes how PD managed to get it so wrong with the settings for Daily Race C. For example, we're looking at a replay of this week's Daily Race C Group 1 at Spa. Now, I think it's actually quite an entertaining race. I do quite enjoy it, but it's just a boring old no stop with the slightest tweaking of the settings, they could have implemented a pit stop in this one. All they had to do was give us the medium tyres and make both tyres mandatory, but for some reason they've just given us the hard tyres, which is just very, very strange. I can't quite get my head round why they would come to that conclusion, but you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. Anyway, I'm going to start waffling on, or stop waffling on. Let me know what you think of these combinations in the comments. Let me know what some of your combinations might be. Please do hit that like button, please do hit that subscribe button if you like what we're doing in the channel, and I shall hopefully see you on the next one. Goodbye now.